Jimmy Carter's funeral brings together 5 current and former U.S. presidents to honor one of their own. The president-elect added, "I don't know. We just got along. But I got along with just about everybody." Obama, who attended Carter's funeral without his wife, Michelle, shared a second-row pew with former presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Along with their spouses, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden arrived last and sat in the pew just in front of them. Members of the exclusive President's Club were on their best behavior. Bonded by the presidency, they rarely criticize one another or the White House's current occupant, though Trump has flouted those rules frequently. He has both praised and criticized Carter in recent days, and he complained that flags will still be at half-staff to honor the deceased president during his inauguration. In one seemingly chilly moment, Trump looked up when Vice President Kamala Harris, whom he defeated in November's hard-fought election, entered the cathedral. But he didn't move to greet her as she and husband Doug Emhoff took seats directly in front of him and Melania Trump. Nor did Harris acknowledge him. Obama, with Trump on his left, also turned to his right to chat with Bush. Clinton, with wife Hillary, was the last of the ex-presidents to take a seat and got in some chatter with Bush as well. The White House said the former presidents also met privately before taking their seats. There was no word on what was said then, though Trump said later of its participants, "We all got along very well." Funerals are among the few events that bring members of the President's Club together. In a way, former President Gerald Ford was there, too. Ford's son Stephen read a eulogy for Carter that Ford had written before he died in 2006. Busy with personal pursuits, charitable endeavors and sometimes lucrative speaking gigs, the former leaders don't mingle often. They all know the protocol of state funerals well. Each has been involved in planning his own. During the 2018 funeral for George H.W. Bush, then President Trump sat with his predecessors and their spouses, including the Carters, and the interactions were stiff and sometimes awkward. This time, Trump also didn't appear to interact with Hillary Clinton, whom he defeated in the 2016 election. Trump was seated in the pew in front of his former vice president, Mike Pence, one of the few times they have coincided at events since Pence refused to overturn the results of the 2020 election after Trump lost to Biden. The two shook hands but didn't speak much beyond that. Pence's wife, Karen, appeared to avoid engaging with the president-elect. Trump, who largely avoided contact with the former presidents during his first term, and pointedly did not seek their advice, has been critical of Republican former presidents, particularly the Bush family, which made him an uneasy member of the former President's Club. Carter himself didn't particularly relish being a member of the club, at times criticizing its staid traditions. Many past presidents have built relationships with their predecessors, including Bill Clinton, who reached out to Richard Nixon for advice on Russian policy, and Harry S. Truman, who sought counsel from Herbert Hoover. One of the first calls Obama made after U.S. forces killed Osama bin Laden in 2011 was to George W. Bush to spread the word that the mission had been accomplished, said Kate Anderson Brower, author of Team of Five, The President's Club in the Age of Trump. "It's the loneliest job in the world. So usually they reach out and rely on each other," said Anderson Brower. But Trump didn't have that the first term. So this will just be another 4 years where he doesn't depend on anyone who came before him. She noted that Carter spent years as a proud Washington outsider and skipped the unveiling of his own portrait to avoid being in the same room with the man who beat him in 1980. President Ronald Reagan. Carter and Trump, even though they have the least in common about everything else, are similar, Anderson Brower said, in just how they approach telling what they actually think. Thank you so much. See you next videos.